that was knocking on my door.
What about online dating?
I placed my ad in September of 2010, and my first date with Wade Ridley was the end of September. I had no idea that this person that seemed to be a nice man could have a kill list.
My sergeant called me and let me know that there was a murder at Ann Simonson's house.
Killing somebody with a knife is personal. I know that. It's the reason it's done.
I didn't know that. A month earlier, he brutally injured Mary Kay Beckman.
The last thing I remember was getting out of my car.
I don't know if Mary Kay lived. I don't know if she died. I know it was violent.
He thought when he left me that I was dead.
When I first walked into the interview room in Las Vegas, there's a table, and on one side of the table was Ridley. He looked disheveled, beaten down, tired, and believe it or not, ready to talk.
How are you?
Had better days.
But you have. Okay. What happened?
I just flipped, like a switch, because I'm usually this nice guy, and then suddenly I'm just in a rage. Ann Simonson and Mary Kay Beckman, they were casualties of that rage.
I could just tell he wanted to tell me the story. He believes it's the demons that made him do this. It was his mental illness that caused this whole thing to happen.
I'm Mary Kay Beckman, and I currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I moved to Las Vegas in September of 2005 with my life partner at the time, Tom Foster, and we moved to Vegas with intent to get involved with real estate. I got licensed in January of 2006, and we just killed it.
Mary Kay and Tom were extremely excited about starting life and building a life in Las Vegas. They were moving from the Midwest where it was cold, and they were now in what they looked at as the land of opportunity, and we just became really good friends.
We were there all day. It was so relaxing.
Oh, that sounds great. There's so much to do here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you guys would love it. You should totally come with us next time.
I know. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
We could use a break. This is Tom.
Okay, go see.
Oh, I'm glad to hear. Yeah, let's talk soon. They accepted the offer.
Well, that was fast.
They were so excited, and then tragedy after tragedy really befell them.
Good morning.
Hi.
Where's Tom?
Oh, he wasn't feeling well, but he should be here by now.
That's strange.
This is Mary Kay. Tom? Tom, are you okay?
Tom's the healthiest person we know. He walked, he swam, he hiked every day. He did one or two of those activities every day. At 63, he had a massive heart attack, and he was gone. And It was a very emotional time for me. It was a very emotional time for our friends that we had made in Vegas. Over 150 people came to, pay their tribute, and he was always a hugging person. So it was even said, when you come tonight to celebrate Tom's life, hug someone, because that was who Tom was.
Mary Kay was very sad, very, very alone, felt very alone. Even though we were all around her, it was that relationship that she missed.
There you go.
I can't sleep upstairs in our bed. I just can't.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I can get some sheets. I can get a blanket. We can make up the couch.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go get that.
I was an emotional wreck after Tom passed. I had just lost my life partner. I had just lost my business partner. It was just a very difficult time. And I remember that everybody in the office said, "You've got to get to work. You've got to get back out there." Dating in Las Vegas was extremely difficult. There wasn't anybody that was, knocking on my door per se. I really didn't even go out with anybody. And I was starting to get lonely and depressed and sad.
What about online dating?
I don't know. I don't think it's for me.
Why not? I know a woman who met her fiancé online. It'll be fun. You'll go on a couple dates, maybe even fall in love.
Julie, what do you think?
I don't know.
I placed my ad the first time in September of 2010, and I was at home. It was in the evening after work. I'd had a long day of selling homes, and so I came home and finally just said, okay. I poured myself a glass of wine, and away I went. I did say that I liked to play golf. I liked to go to movies. I liked to go to concerts. I liked to travel. So those were the types of people that I wanted to be matched up to. The profile was very emotional because you're pouring your heart out. You're answering all these questions, and then you're popping in to see who. I think they used the word pinged me. Who matched me? Who looked at my profile today? Because you could see all of that information. So I found myself being very distracted with coming home from, showing property and to seeing who had checked my profile. I heard from Wade Ridley in September of 2010. He was moving to Vegas. He said he was a golf caddy. He was coming to Vegas for the winter because he knew he could golf. It sounded like the perfect match. Based on his profile, I would have had no idea that Wade Ridley would turn into a
You want the backstory?
Please give me the backstory.
Well, I was a caddy. I've worked a lot of courses and, you know, all that country club money and gossip. I mean, it's no business to make friends. I mean, Len Zamora could have been different, but he had no time for me.
The first time I met Wade was, I believe, was in October of the year of 2007. That's when we usually hire most of our employees for the season. He was kind of like a vagabond. He worked at many different clubs, and he came to Mirabel looking for a job as a caddy. I believe he worked for us for about 9 months.
Mirabel Clubhouse, this is Len. Okay.
As time went on, Wade's personality started becoming more and more aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, let me check on that. Have him here for 1. Yeah. Okay.
He was a little insecure. He wanted to make sure that people knew what his experience was. He was constantly trying to prove himself. We were discussing the biggest event of the year for our club. My head professional was at the meeting, and he was going over some details.
So our member guest tournament will begin in 3 weeks. We have a kickoff event starting on Thursday night, and then our first flights will tee off 8 a.m. on Friday.
Is there a problem, Wade?
And Wade just came out and started saying things like, "You don't know how to run a golf event. I know more about running golf events than you'll ever know."
Look, Wade, I know this is only your first season, so maybe you don't understand how things work.
Shut up. Hey, Wade. You need to leave. All right, well, let's get back to it.
First thing, the next morning, I had told him that his services were no longer needed.
Wanted to see me, Len?
Yeah, Wade. Look, after yesterday, I'm gonna have to let you go.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna need the keys to the cart barn, too.
You better stay down, Len. I see you again? I swear.
He tossed me the keys in a way that I needed to look up to catch him. The only thing went through my mind was, oh my gosh, this guy knows where I live. When Wade left, I started, feeling like I needed to walk around the house middle of the night just to check on windows and doors. I guess Wade had a girlfriend. I believe her name was Ann Simonson, and she had called me a couple of days after the incident.
This is Len.
Hello, this is Ann Simonson. I used to be Wade Ridley's girlfriend, and I heard that he attacked you.
That's right.
Well, do you know where he is now?
No. Wade's none of my concern.
Well, listen, Len, you gotta do something. You need to find him. Wade is dangerous, and he really wants to hurt you. Len, do you understand?
My assistant golf professional started calling around and kind of putting the word out that Wade would be looking for work. We were just trying to find out where he was. For the number one reason is that we didn't want this to happen at another facility. So we wanted to make sure that other golf courses didn't hire him. The other concern was that we wanted to make sure he was caught.
He was my boss, And he went and told everybody we had a little situation between him and I. And all of a sudden, I couldn't work anywhere. I mean, he crushed me. Now, I got no relationship with Ann because she thinks I'm a loser because I can't control my temper. And she gets a restraining order on me.
How did you meet Mary Kay Beckman?
I met Mary Kay online, just like I met Ann.
Being transient and getting on Match.com, we don't know if he's at the library on the computers and, you know, signs up that way. And regardless, he meets Mary Kay Beckman in Las Vegas.
When I signed up on Match.com, I was very anxious about signing up on the site to begin with. And they did have safety tips. When you meet somebody, meet them there separately. Tell your friends that you're meeting someone there. They suggested that you communicate on their site because then, each party doesn't have other parties' information. My first date with Wade Ridley was around the end of September of 2010. He asked if I would like to go to dinner at an Italian restaurant, and I said, "Oh, I love Italian. That sounds nice. I will meet you there."
Mary Kay?
Hi. Nice to meet you, Wade.
Yeah, you too.
I was nervous about meeting somebody that I'd only been communicating with and had physically never met. So I told 4 of my girlfriends where I was going, what I was wearing. One of my girlfriends said, if you do not like him or if anything goes wrong, excuse yourself and go to the bathroom and call us. And even though you have your car there, we will come and get you.
You hungry?
Starved. He then did something that had not been done for me for a very long time. I started to grab for the door, and he grabbed the door first and opened the door for me. And I was just like, what a gentleman.
So, what's the best thing you've done since moving to Vegas?
This date tonight, without a doubt. Honestly, I've been so busy job searching, I haven't gone out much.
Well, there's a lot more to Vegas than the Strip. There's hiking and some great golf courses.
Well, I hope so. It's hard to be a caddy without a course nearby.
Have you traveled a lot for work?
Yeah, I've been all over. You?
Some for pleasure, but Vegas is my home.
Throughout the dinner conversation, we really just really kept talking about our life, our past life, our life experiences. We talked about our travels. We shared about, our trips. We just talked about what was important to us.
Shall we?
Yeah.
I'm not in any rush to get home. Would you like to go for a walk?
I'd love to.
So after dinner, he said, this evening is ending too soon. Would you like to go for a walk? And the first thing that we came across was a homeless person on the corner. And he stopped me and he goes, I'm going to give him $1. And I said, why are you doing that? He said, it's generosity. So again, I thought, wow, he's nicer than me.
Oh, I'm sorry. These heels are killing me.
Well, let me get you a cab back to the restaurant.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Mary Kay, I'd like to kiss you. Can I call you?
Yeah. Good night, Wade.
I was starting to get really giddy and happy, and it was just like a wonderful feeling that, wow, after 9 months, I was able to meet a nice gentleman that had a kind heart and a kind soul.
She was very excited, very, very excited. She was thrilled to have met somebody. She said, oh my gosh, he's a caddy. He's a professional caddy for the professional golf tournaments, and he's just a great guy, and she was very excited.
Divorcing my ex was messy, to say the least. I never want to go through that again.
Looking back at dinner, We were just talking about our past relationships.
Well, if we're being completely honest, I actually have a restraining order on me from one of my exes.
Really? How come?
She was a little sensitive. It was just a tough situation.
I don't remember what he said the restraining order was about, but it wasn't it wasn't, I beat her and she was scared of me, or because if he'd have said something like that, I would have been smart enough to have ended the relationship. He had to have been talking about Ann at the time when we were talking about the restraining order.
Ann Simonson and Wade Ridley met on Match.com, and it worked for a little bit. Ann wound up kicking him out of the house, and he left. Ann Simonson was a realtor. She was a sister. She was a good person to her boyfriend who lived with her.
My name's Glenn Cali. I'm from Peoria, Arizona. Around June of 2009, I moved in to Annie's home in Cave Creek.
Ooh, look at that. Got it.
How do you do that?
It's magic.
Annie had a swagger to her. Annie lit up a room. When she walked in the room with her vibrant red hair, as soon as she walked in, everybody would gravitate to her.
See, one more. We're gonna get to this. Look at that. She does it again.
You could just have mine. I don't think I'm cut out for this. Who is it?
You haven't found that piece yet?
Annie?
His name is Wade. He's an ex-boyfriend. I dated him 7 years ago, but he
still calls you.
Unfortunately, yes.
I can't say I blame it.
When I first heard about Wade Ridley, we were sitting in the family room at the house. Annie and I would share our relationships with each other and talk about our past. She did share that she had a relationship that was 7, 8 years past. She still had concerns about it.
At the time when I got a phone call from Ann, she had mentioned that he was pretty dangerous. I believe she must have been threatened at some point in their relationship.
Wade is dangerous, and he really wants to hurt you. Len, do you understand?
I think Ann was, she was living a nightmare. I believe Ann was always nervous about Wade.
How did you meet Mary Kay Beckman?
I met Mary Kay online, just like I met Ann.
And then how long did you know Mary Kay Beckman?
10 days.
10 days, okay. Did you get a chance to meet any of her friends?
Yeah. Our friends pretty much trashed me. I wasn't expecting that.
He was in a rage about Mary Kay because during the end of their relationship, she had talked bad about him. She had talked bad about him to her friends. And I'm thinking they had a substantial relationship, you know, for some time, but I later learned that relationship was only 10 days old.
In October of 2010, my office planned a fundraiser, and I thought, what better way for my friends to meet who I'm hanging around with to give me their opinion and their advice. So Friday night, we went to the happy hour at Julie's house.
Good to see you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, we are too.
Hello, you must be Wade.
Hey.
Hey, nice to meet you. All right, well, come on in.
Yeah, of course.
Drinks are over there. Help
Right.
yourself.
Thank you.
Friday, October 1st, 2010 was the first I actually met Wade. And again, I was very busy, and yet I kind of was, you know, doing that thing that we all do, sizing him up, and I was thinking, okay. And by this time, our other friend was already in my ear saying, there's something not okay.
Is it just me, or is there something off about Wade? He's really cute, but I don't know. There's something about him. I can't put my finger on it.
He's been staying at her house. No toothbrush, no luggage, no car.
Seriously?
Teresa and Mary Kay and I were very, very good friends, and Teresa had said to me, Julie, he hasn't brushed his teeth, he hasn't taken a shower, he doesn't appear to have anything. From what I've learned, since, you know, he really truly was a vagabond, he just went from one place to another, taking advantage of people.
And it was Sunday morning, that Sunday morning, that things started popping up. I'm a realtor. I get tons of texts and emails and voice calls. And I was looking at my phone, and I looked, and he was behind me looking over my shoulder. And I said, "What are you looking at?" And he goes, "Who are you talking to?"
What are you doing?
Who are you talking to?
My clients.
I deserve to know who these men are.
Men? What?
What, do you find all these guys online too?
Wait, I canceled my account after we met.
Then let me look.
No. My work is none of your business.
Fine.
And he kind of walked off and was upset that I wouldn't give him my phone. We left the event, and we were starving, and so we went to dinner with, there was a group, I think, of 7 of us.
Mary Kay, tell me you're not going to take the class again.
One of my friends said, "Hey, are you taking that training class that my company puts on every year?"
What class?
Oh, it's a real estate training class. And yes, Mike, I signed up.
You...
Hey, you never know. I may learn something new.
You're already an established realtor.
With reliable clients.
Exactly.
He was very adamant that I didn't need to spend the money and take the class again.
Don't waste your money. You can let him talk to you like that?
Wade, Mike and I are good friends. We're just having fun. Why don't you sit down and enjoy the rest of dinner, okay? Excuse me.
The night just went downhill from there.
Now, why do you let Mike treat you like that? I mean, how can you take his opinion over mine?
Oh, that's enough. You need to stop.
Let's just go inside and go to bed.
No, you need to leave.
Next morning, then, I woke up, and he started texting me. I said, "Wait, this just isn't going anywhere. I probably won't be seeing you again." And he did not like that at all. He just started texting me very derogatory text. He wasn't violent. They made me cry because they were just rude.
Hey, what's going on?
I broke up with Wade and, well, look.
I can't believe you used me this weekend. How could you be so selfish? Oh, ignore it. Ignore this. He's a jerk and you're doing the right thing, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you're gonna be okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I was not afraid at all of Wade at that point. He was just a jerk. He was just somebody I knew I didn't want to have a relationship with. And so there was never any sign of violence that came from him in that short period of time that I knew him or talked to him. So never at all did I ever worry or wonder about him.
We had no idea that Wade Ridley was a threat, and we were so very wrong.
Let's just go inside and go to bed.
No, you need to leave.
Mary Kay Beckman, she used me. It made me think she was actually interested. And then after 10 days, she said, "No, Wade, it's over."
Ridley believed that Mary Kay had disrespected him and basically kicked him to the curb, and he was not happy about that.
October 7th of 2010 was the last time I heard from Wade Ridley. I just was business as usual.
On October 17th, 2010, Wade Ridley had a turning point in his life, and I think that was after the breakup. On that particular day, he said he was robbed, he was beaten up, his car was stolen.
I ended up going into a psychiatric hospital through December 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew it was too soon. I told them there were too many voices in my head and that I needed more time. Now, I begged them. They shoved me off to a homeless shelter.
He kept saying there's warning signs about people that do murders. He was telling them these are the warning signs. I'm not ready. I'm suicidal. He's homicidal. And he has this rage. He warned the hospital that he wasn't ready to leave. And shortly after this was the time that he attacked Mary Kay Beckman.
Now, when did you come up with the list of people you wanted to hurt, Wade?
Probably in December.
During the interview with Wade, he said he made a list of people that he wanted to hurt. Obviously, Mary Kay and Ann were on the list.
December of 2010, we were driving up north to the cabin in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Open the windows when we get there. I know.
The cabin, we need to air it out.
I know. We should just leave them open.
No.
What's wrong?
It's him.
Okay, look, if he calls back, let me answer the phone, okay? Just give it to me. Wade, listen. Annie is with someone else now, okay? You need to accept that and stop harassing her. Now, if you want to, we can meet face to face and settle this like men, but you're not gonna...
My gut feeling told me that there was going to be an issue. We knew nothing about what Wade Ridley was doing or what he was plotting, or even if he was still in the picture at that point. We've never received another phone call.
Life was good. I celebrated the holidays with my family. I went back home and saw my parents. I met a man and started dating a man named Dean. So I was like, oh my gosh, finally I'm meeting somebody as a referral and not through this online nonsense. The evening of January 21st, 2011, I was meeting up with my girlfriend and two of her friends for dinner. It was a beautiful night. It was crisp and cool. I called Dean on the way home. The last thing I remember was getting out of my car. I had the keys in my hand to open the door, and I was still talking on the phone with Dean.
Oh, we had a good time. That was fun.
I don't remember anything else. I don't remember ending the conversation with Dean. I don't remember anything else for the rest of the evening.
You want to tell me how it happened with Mary Kay Beckman?
She leaves her gate open. Her garage door was an easy pick. So I sat and waited for her. I just wanted to talk. I had a knife in my pocket. I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'm in a bad situation, and I have you to thank for it. There was an empty box right by her garage door, and I kicked it. It made noise and freaked her out. When she got close enough, that was it. She fell backwards, hit her head, and basically became unconscious at that point, and
then you stabbed her?
Yep. Broke the knife off somewhere. I don't know where. Shoulder, arm, wrist, I have no idea.
I asked the police, did I try to protect myself? And they said, yes, Mary Kay, that's why you have the stab wounds on your hand. I apparently screamed and dropped the phone and then would have tried grabbing the knife. He then started stomping on my head until I stopped making the gurgling sounds. He then stole my purse and ran off. He thought when he left me that I was dead.
No, they were all there. Oh, yeah, it was great. Yeah, she was there too. Oh, yeah.
911 emergency. Yes, I heard a noise outside and I peeked from the window. Somebody lay on somebody's driveway, and I saw the guy kick that one lay on the floor. He was running away. Did you tell what color clothes he had on? All black. We do have officers on the way. Yeah. Is the person moving that you saw? No, it's not moving. Because I saw the guy was, stuck on him about 8 times.
The neighbor heard me scream, so she called 911. She went upstairs to her bathroom to see if she could see anything, and she saw someone attacking me.
Killing somebody with a knife is personal.
I know that.
It's the reason it's done. No, it wasn't as if I couldn't get a 38 or a 22. No, that's not personal, and this has to be personal. I don't know if Mary Kay lived. I don't know if she died. I know it was violent.
When I first saw Mary Kay, I literally cried outside her room because it was so shocking. It wasn't her.
I was in an induced coma. I had tubes in my mouth, drainage tubes coming out of my left side of my skull.
Her face was cut, her body was cut. She had tubes going in and out. Her face was swollen like a basketball. It was huge.
I am Kay. We're here. We're all here.
I think it was the surgeon who came out and spoke to us prior to going into surgery and said, her brain is swelling. Her injuries are severe. This is a big surgery. We're literally going to cut a piece of her skull, lift it out, and sew the skin back together. We're like, what are you talking about? It wasn't real. It was very difficult to look at her and know that someone could possibly have the kind of rage and anger and ugliness in them to be able to do this to another person. I thought there was a very real possibility that we could lose Mary Kay.
Okay. Hey.
We're here.
She wants to write this.
Here you go.
You were attacked and you were stabbed. But you're gonna be okay. I'm so sorry. But we don't know who did it.
I can only imagine what they were going through. I have no idea what I was feeling at the time. They've all told me this so I can vividly recount everything that has happened. Why do I think I left? I really don't know.
Can you think of anyone who would try to hurt you?
No, nobody.
I do remember 2 different interviews with the police. I know by reading the police reports that they asked me over and over, who could have done this to you? And my answer was nobody.
Your boyfriend, Dean, could he have?
No.
I knew that there was no way he could have done this to me. And when they finally did interview him, they said, yes, he did not do this to her.
Get some rest.
Anything?
Did Mary Kay date anyone else recently? Any bad breakups?
And Julie just all of a sudden, oh my God, she dated this guy that she met
Well, there was a guy she met online, actually. He was from Phoenix, I think. But we haven't seen him in months.
And I said, well, you know, there was this guy back in October, but I said, he hasn't been around. We don't know where he went. I think he was from Phoenix, but we don't really know.
Oh, God, what was his name? Wade Ridley. Yeah.
The Las Vegas police knew who they were looking for. They just couldn't find him.
After he's done with Mary Kay, his next goal was to kill Ann Simonson. On February 10th, 2011,
I need a kid in the back.
My sergeant called me and let me know that there was a murder at Ann Simonson's house.
Here you go.
So let's talk about Ann Simonson.
I walked many, many miles from Las Vegas to the Hoover Dam. I got a ride to Phoenix. I got dropped off in Ann's neighborhood. At that point, I knew where I was and what I wanted to do.
He went to Ann's house. He used a screwdriver that was found at the scene. And it took him, he said, various times, but he figured about 25 minutes to actually break into the house. Ann's dog, which is very close to Ann, would have probably attacked an intruder. But he said he trained that dog and the dog recognized him. So the dog during this time is wagging its tail and bringing toys to the door. So while he's in the house, he is getting more angry because he is seeing Glenn's clothes in the closet, seeing all the nice things Glenn has. And then he lays and waits. He is just waiting for Ann to come home.
What if Ann's boyfriend Glenn had been home?
Yeah, but I'd already calculated what would happen if he walked in first and she walked in second. You know, I'd just come around the corner and stick the machete right in the back of his head.
So what happened when you got inside?
Wade.
I need to talk to you. I wanted to talk. You know, I said, Ann, this is serious. You know, she saw what I had in my right hand. And then she knew I was serious too.
Then what happened?
No, you need to leave now. You're not supposed to be here. No, Wade, you're not supposed to be here! Wade, no!
Started swinging. She started crying, and then she said, I just went into a rage.
That was the wrong thing to say.
And this is what I said to myself. I said, there's no way you love me. And I went and grabbed one of her butcher knives and just went to town.
He told me the machete wasn't working as he expected. So he got off of her and went to got a knife out of the butcher block, and then continued on stabbing Ann until she stop talking.
Dare you say that to me? Kicked me out of your house. You put a restraining order on me.
And after that?
I cleaned the knife off. Put it back in the butcher block. I cleaned my machete, whatever blood was on it. Took that along with me.
The person that found the body was Ann's friend named Lewis, and he had come over to walk the dog. So he had his dog with him and walked to the front door, knocked on the door. There was no answer, and there was windows on the side of the door. So he looked through the windows and saw that Ann was down on the floor. The back door was locked. Ann had a doggy door next to that, so he kicked in the doggy door and was able to reach in to unlock the door to get to Ann. His first thoughts were that she may have slipped and hit her head and she was unconscious. But as he got closer to her, he realized that something else had happened to Ann. I believe Lewis just missed the killer leaving the house. Because of my experience in homicide investigations, I believe Ann Simonton knew who the killer was. And the violence that went behind it, you could see in the crime scene.
When the world lost Annie, they lost a champion. They lost somebody that did nothing but good for everybody she ever had to deal with.
Is there anything else you can tell me? I don't know what to
Glenn!
Marcy.
Ann had a sister named Marcy, and she was at the scene, and they were very close. There was no doubt in Marcy's mind who killed her sister.
Oh, God. Did you get him?
Get who?
Wade! Wade Ridley did this.
I needed to look at Wade Ridley. We don't know much about him. We're running his name. We're getting pictures of him to see who he is. Earlier during the day, we go into the backyard, and on a table underneath the patio, there are a pair of sunglasses and a notebook. I look inside the notebook, and there are strange writings inside, almost like a diary. In my opinion, it looks like that the person that's writing this is having some kind of a mental issue. In the writing itself, it mentioned a hospital. They were able to tell me that Wade Ridley was a patient of theirs. And at that point, I knew that my suspect now was Wade Ridley. We have a killer on the loose.
On ABC.
Tell me about your stint in the hospital.
I asked not to get out, because I can't control myself. I mean, the cost is 2 people. I warned them. I tried.
Wade had taken a shower in our shower. And then at that point, he took a lot of my jewelry, a lot of my watches, a lot of my rings. And then he took her car and left. Obviously, I didn't want to stay in the house. Marcy was always gracious. She just expressed, "Hey, why don't you just stay here at the house, stay on the couch." I couldn't even close my eyes. So as I'm on the couch, feeling sorry for myself, feeling sorry for what happened, I started dozing off a little bit, and then next thing I know, somebody's tapping me on my shoulder, and saying, look at your bank account. I'm looking around like, what are you talking about? Look at my bank account. I don't know who he's even telling me this. I'm assuming Annie's tapping me on my shoulder saying, look at your bank account.
Yeah, Detective Dalton, this is Glenn Calais. Wade Ridley, he's got my credit card. I think he's going to Las Vegas.
My thought was that Wade was a very, very damaged, hearted person. Very evil, very much a monster.
What are you doing?
Who are you talking to?
My clients.
I deserve to know who these men are.
Looking back at the things that he did and the things that he said, that very brief time that I was getting to know him, he was a very controlling person and a jealous person. We didn't know if he would come back, so Julie offered her home.
She was in a bedroom. I moved a recliner in there so that I could sleep next to her.
You're safe here. This is the safest place that you can be.
My boyfriend slept on the other side of the bathroom. He slept in that bedroom with a gun. So, loaded, and I'm not a gun person at all. And yet, that's how real all of our fears were.
To be real honest, I had no idea my life was in jeopardy or of any kind. I talked like a little girl. I walked like a little girl. I sounded like a little girl. My friends were terrified that this was going to be the new me.
Oh no, I'm gonna be late for work.
Mary Kay, sweetie, you're not going to work today. Remember?
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let me get you some coffee now. Okay, all right.
Mary Kay was confused for a long, long time as to how badly she was hurt. It's as if her spirit was just broken. She cried a lot and apologized a lot and was sad all the time. All the time.
I know. I'm tired. I know. Oh, boy. You're gonna sleep well tonight, I'm sure. There you go. Thank you.
I'm ready now.
Ready for what?
To look.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
I was helping her get ready for bed, and she said, I want to see myself. And I said, well, you're beautiful. And she said, I'm sorry. But I want to see myself. I said, okay, let's do it.
Half my head was shaved and half my hair was still long. One of the stab wounds was this wound right here, and so I had stitches. And it was just a terrible sight to see yourself in the mirror like that.
You know what? I know this is hard to hear, but you already look so much better. And you're here. You're alive, and you made it, and you're gonna be okay. All right?
Yeah. She was shocked. And I had to tell her she looked so much better than the first day. And I told her, I said, you will heal. You will heal.
I'm always thinking about death, always. You know, I know I'm sick, but no one will help me. No one will fix it. I mean, nobody wanted to listen, you know. Do I feel bad about Ann? Yeah. I mean, there's somebody here that's already been hit.
Who's that?
Her name's Mary Kay Beckman. She treated me really poorly.
So you hurt her?
Yeah, just like Ann.
We knew he was heading to Vegas at that point, and we knew he was driving Ann's car at that time. I didn't know that. A month earlier, he brutally injured another person, Mary Kay Beckman, in Las Vegas. Knowing that Ridley is most likely heading to the Vegas area, I contacted a detective in Vegas homicide, and I am sending him the information on Ridley, his photograph, what he looks like, pictures of the car. I sent him information on the items that were stolen from Ann's house that belonged to either Glenn or Ann. So he got into the computer system and ran Ridley's name. When you pawn an object, it's the pawn shop's responsibility to log it into the computer system. And the police departments across the nation have the ability to go into that system and see if anybody pawned anything. And it came up just recently, as I believe it was that day, the 12th, that Wade was pawning items. And those are the items that we were missing from our homicide investigation. We now have a great investigative lead of where he's at and what area of town he's at, because Vegas is a pretty big city. We also got lucky to where Ridley actually turned on the phone. And when he turned on the phone, the cell towers pinged, and the one cell tower that it pinged on was in the area behind the MGM.
All right. Ann Simonson's cell phone just pinged the tower off the strip. Let's go get Wade Ridley.
The Vegas detectives knew this area, so that's where they sent all their people that were looking for Ridley into this area. So they're going to be checking the hotels, they're going to be checking more pawn shops, they're going to be checking all the places where a homicide suspect may be hiding.
After Wade killed Ann, he then stole her cell phone and her car and was headed back to Vegas. From what I understand, he could not find where I was alive or dead, and so he was coming back to Vegas to finish me off. He did call my office with her cell phone, looking for me.
Yeah, I'm looking for Mary.
Thank God he was stupid and called me Mary, and I don't go by Mary, I go by Mary Kay or MK. And so the staff, when they were answering the phone, because again, we still did not know who did this, had strict instructions that if somebody called asking for me, they had scripts that they had to find out who it was. And when somebody called in asking for Mary, it was a red flag. So they didn't give him any information. He got angry and asked for Julie. They transferred him to her voicemail, and thank God she wasn't there that day at the office.
I have no doubt that Wade Ridley was coming back to kill Mary Kay. No doubt.
The information I sent to detectives in Vegas, they took that information and gave it to other officers throughout the city. What that does is they'll send it to the briefing stations, and during the briefing, one of the officers took note of this.
I just went to the seediest part of Las Vegas and drove into Square this morning for about 2 hours until the police rolled up. Now, I thought about getting the machete out of the back of my car and making a stand.
One officer saw the red convertible, saw the Arizona plate, ran the plate. It was our car. It was Ridley. The officer jumped out of the squad car. While the officers were giving him commands, he got out of Ann's car. And at that point, he dropped to the ground and gave up. Very early morning hours on February 13th. The phone rang at approximately 6 o'clock. It's my sergeant. He tells me that Wade Ridley is in custody and he's in Vegas and we need to get there. Luckily, Phoenix Police Department has an air unit. So my sergeant called the air unit to get ready to fly to Vegas.
The guys from Phoenix should be here within like 15 minutes.
Okay. I'm trying to be as passive as I can, and I'm bouncing off walls right now. I know when they get here, I'm going to be in a very agitated and angry state, and I just, I can't help it. It's just, it has nothing to do with coming off medication. It's just, I'm split right now. The medication I use keeps me dormant.
I believe Ridley put most of the blame on his victims. They did him wrong in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's his boss firing him, or Ann kicking him out, or Mary Kay talking bad about him, he blamed the victims in one way, shape, or form. But in addition, he blamed his mental illness, not himself.
The people I hurt were people who hurt me first, and I let it go for years. When I finally left Vegas, I couldn't let it go anymore. And there's really 5 or 6 people that should be gone, not just 2, including Len Zamora.
Once I found out that Wade got caught, the police officer had mentioned to me that my name was on a list of others that Wade was trying to kill. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
Until I interviewed Ridley in Las Vegas, Mary Kay's brutal attack wasn't solved at all. It was a whodunit. He told me the truth, telling the stories because his stories matched the crime scene, at least with Ann's. And he just wanted to tell me. I think he wanted to get it off his chest and maybe make the rage stop in his own mind.
But now it's done. Now the rage is gone. I just wanted someone to understand. But I killed them, and there's no past for that.
Approximately 3 weeks after the attack, it was February 13th, 2011. It was a Sunday, and Mary Kay was taking a nap, and I got a phone call from one of the detectives, and he said, "Is Mary Kay there? We need to come and talk to you."
Julie? What are the police doing here? What's going on?
They got him.
What happened?
We arrested Wade Ridley less than 10 minutes from your house.
So it really was him?
After he attacked you, he fled to Phoenix, where he murdered his ex. We believe that he was coming back to Vegas to perhaps...
No. Oh, God. It's over, hon. It's over.
When I finally realized what Wade Ridley had done, not only to me, but to Ann Simonson, I broke down. I do remember saying, "Why did I live and she die?" I didn't understand. I couldn't understand and comprehend how that could happen. I had a huge a guilt that why was it her time and why wasn't it mine? I couldn't even imagine what her family was going through.
And games.
My recovery process from January 21st, 2011 went through August 18th of 2011. I had a total of 3 head surgeries and a seizure, so I was in and out of the hospital 4 times.
I'm a very strong spiritual being, and I had to keep going back. I had to keep going back to that God has a reason for each and every one of us. It helped me to understand that it was not God's time for me that night, that He has a bigger purpose for me on this earth.
Too stupid. Got out of the car too fast. Got out of the car too fast. You should have taken some medication. Oh, the body's gonna flip. Come on. Stay down. Stay down. Focus. Focus, 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 focus.
The emotion of stopping a potential serial killer is it's a great feeling. It's unexplainable as a detective, because my focus is on Ann, but to solve Ann's murder and then potentially solve the aggravated assault attempted murder on the other individual that he brutally hurt in Vegas. And then there's 6 or 7 other people he had on that list. It's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling.
I had no idea that this person that I had met that seemed to be a nice man could have such a hatred and have a kill list.
What were the warning signs? Everybody ignored the warning signs. What happened to you in the last 10 years that made you go from being a decent person with mental problems to a nutcase that can't control his own suicidal thoughts?
It was decided through the prosecutors that they would prosecute Ridley first in Las Vegas, and then we would extradite him to the Phoenix area to face the charges for Ann.
You left it in your pocket? Follow the gentleman.
After his confession for my attempted murder and Ann Simonson's murder, he did a plea bargain. Thank God, because then I did not have to go through the trial process. He got 70 years for what he did to me, and he would have gotten the death penalty for Ann had he had to have gone to court in Arizona. He killed himself in Nevada prison in May of 2012. He was in solitary confinement and supposedly died by suffocation.
This is Mary Kay? Hello?
Mary Kay? This is Marcy, Ann Simonson's sister.
Oh, thank you for calling. I am so sorry. I don't know what to say.
I wanted to tell you, we're so glad that you survived.
Oh, I want to honor Ann. I want to do something.
You can just live life. Enjoy life. For her.
From that day forward, I have changed all of my branding and marketing in my real estate business to where it says, live life, enjoy life. That's all to honor Ann.
Mary Kay is she's a warrior. She's a warrior survivor. Not many people could go through that, which she had to go through, and come out with her resolve, her buoyant personality, her smile, her ability to trust again.
I am living a very positive, happy life right now. I love what I do. I love helping other people find their real estate dreams. I am very happy right now in a relationship and extremely happy. Have found the perfect man. I'm living life and enjoying life.
Eva Longoria, George Lopez, and more.